Thank you. Uh,
Once
Abhinandan.
again, I welcome you all in this seventh session of our faculty development program. So today we have experts from MNIT Allahabad, Professor Rajesh Gupta sir. So today he will deliver his talk on the role of energy storage in smart cities. So for the audience, I'm going to cite the biography of Professor Rajesh Gupta sir. Presently, he is working as a professor and head department of electrical engineering, MNIT Allahabad. He received the Bachelor in Electrical Engineering from Triple M Engineering College, Gorakhpur in 1993. Master degree in Control System from the BIT Misra Rachi in 1995, and the PhD degree in the area of power electronics and control from the IIT Kanpur in 2007. From 1995 to 1996, he worked in IIT Lucknow, and from 1996 to 1999, he worked in GV Pant Engineering College, Pauri Gorwal. Thereafter, he joined MNIT. Dr. Gupta is a senior member of IEEE, life member of Solar Energy Society of India, fellow of Institution of Engineers. His research includes power conversion of renewable energy resources, solar PV and wind energy system. He guided 12 PhD and 50 master students. He was a principal investigator for the research project sponsored by the various ministries, including DST, SERB, CSIR, and MNRE, in the area of solar PV and wind energy system, hybrid renewable energy, and microgrid. He has filed patent in the area of bidirectional and hybrid converters. Dr. Gupta has served as a vice chairman and secretary in IEEE UP section and IEEE joint chapter of IEPLCS. He is the recipient of 2013 IEEE Outstanding Branch Counselor Award of Region 10 of IEEE. He is also the recipient of 2014 IEEE Outstanding Volunteer Award of IEEE Uttar Pradesh section. He was the first prize winner of 6 Mantra contest in 2006 organized by the National Instrument. Two of his PhD students and two master students have won the POSACO Award sponsored by the Power Grid Corporation of India in association with IIT Delhi. He has traveled many countries under university exchange program, attending the conference, including the USA, Canada, France, Sweden, China, Poland, Turkey, Thailand, Japan, Singapore, many more. His name appeared in the top 2% scientists in the world under the category of electrical and electronics published by the Stanford University in 2020. Dr. Gupta has been appointed as an associate editor of IEEE Transaction on Energy Conversion, IEEE Power and Energy Society Letters in 2021. So once again, I welcome you, sir, in this session, and I request you to kindly start your presentation, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Vijay. If my slides are visible,
Yes, sir, it is visible.
okay, fine. Thank you so much for introduction, and I wish all the best to all of the participants. And I am sure that you will be going to benefited from this short-term course. And I congratulate your electrical department of RSC Sonbhadra and also the principal and the institute for organizing such a useful short-term course or FDP program. And I suggest all the participants to please sincerely look upon the lectures delivered by the various experts, because some or other way you will be getting a lot of ideas which may change your life. So you never know which point clicks to you, and what you will do in future. It's all the kind of ideas which actually changes the life of a person. And it happens to be seconds only to click the idea. So that's what my advice to all of you, that whenever somebody speaks, uh, always follow their presentations. At least you should have a something in your mind that what is going on. So today's topic, as Dr. Vijay told, that I wanted to present role of energy storage for smart cities, and that's what I thought. Let me correlate with the energy storage and smart cities, which we may see in coming future. So already on the slide, on the background, you can see lot many things which is going on these days. Let me go one by one. So this is a traditional technology, the normal conventional power transfer or electric grid. You have a typical thermal power plants, which is getting transmitted through our long transmission line, and then it is getting received at the distribution centers. First of all, at a 132 kV by 33, and then 33 by 11. So this is 132 by 33 or even higher voltages. And then you will be getting 11 kV substation. And finally, it is getting distributed to the distribution loads. So this is a typical power flow diagrams or electric grid which we are familiar, and it's very robust. So there is no question about its authenticity. The electric grid at this point of time is much matured, is having the most optimized scenario, and that's why we are able to sustain today, right? So over past 100 to 200 years has been very crucial for establishment of such a nice and beautiful energy transmission, that is the electrical energy transmission. There are other ways of transmission of energy also, but as you know that electrical energy is the most vibrant and most useful form of energy which can be transmitted from thousands of kilometers with only a fractional part of the losses taking place. So we are proud of our electrical engineering and our electrical grid also, and whatever the established technology. But as you know, development is a part of a life, change is a part of a life. Things changes after every decade. So also the electrical grid also need to be changed. Now, what are the changes possible? Centralized and passive architecture and unidirectional power flow. So this is a one-line sentence for our existing grid. It is centralized, having a passive architecture, right? Passive architecture means everywhere there is a passive components like transformer, transmission line. All these are passive components. We don't have any active components like any generation in the middle, right? So it has a passive architecture. Unidirectional power flow. Power will always flow from generation to the distribution through a transmission line. At the moment, if we talk about our conventional grid, we don't have any option to for a power flow from distribution to transmission. I mean, conventionally, we don't have that provision, right? Second point, extensively and very complex system. That is what we can think of. It's extensive, exhaustive, and complex. That is true. That's how we are receiving the power, and that's how it is possible only. Then complicated control, relatively inefficient, stability issues, vulnerability. It's all the outcome of any system. When you have a lot of advantages, you will always have some of the disadvantage also, because wherever people try to sell their own product, they will always say that the older products are complicated, relatively inefficient, there are instability, vulnerability, all those things. It's okay, it's there, but we cannot outrightly say, because of this reason, we cannot use the above one. It's fine. But yeah, some points are there. Lack of flexibility, okay. It may not be very much flexible. True. There are a lot of people who are very rigid, but their importance is very important in our life. Your father may be very rigid, but you know the importance of your father in your life and your upbringing. Maybe somebody who is very flexible, having some importance, but may not be as important as a person who is very rigid. Like your director of your college, principal of your institute, he may be very tough, but then he has got a lot of importance. So that's why these all are very rigid system. It's fine, but their importance is very great. So that's what our traditional things. And once again, I would say we are proud to be our traditional electrical systems, electrical engineering. And being an electrical student and faculty, you should also be proud of our electrical supply systems. And that's why we are progressing today. And backbone of development of any society based on the how much best electrical network you have, right? So the ESS now come to the energy storage, but that's what I said, that whatever we have today is really very great for all of us. But now let us think of addition, what we can now think of. So storage is one of the important component which we are badly lacking today. Okay, for example, you are very good in electrical generation, you are very good in transmission, distribution, you have well established technology, that's correct. Okay, so in electrical department we have so much of great things. If you go to the, for example, electronics department, they can be proud of communication, mobile technology, right? Now, so we always try to find out where we are lacking actually. Now, one thing which we are really lacking, trust that today we are badly lacking in an area which is called electrical energy storage, right? All of you know that storage is again a part of our life, right? You use your cell phones, you use your laptops, you use your UPS inverters in your house. All are supported by storage. That is the battery energy storage. All of you are well aware of this fact. So you can say, okay, today if you are using these electronics gadgets, if you are using these electronics gadgets or small electrical equipments like inverter. Inverter is an electrical equipment, whereas laptop and mobile phone is an electronic gadget, right? So long as you are at the low power requirement, right, energy storage well match with your requirements, right? If I say, okay, you have a mobile phone, you need some Ah of energy battery in that, 40 Ah or something, milli Ah, you always, whenever you buy mobile phone, you always look upon these specifications. And every another year, you get improved backup and improved quality of battery pack. So what I mean to say, the energy storage is well matched to the low power equipments and electronic gadgets. But where we are lacking for storage, we are seriously lacking in our distribution, generation and transmission systems. There we are still very poor. You might not have seen a generating station which has a backup of storage also, so that sometime because of some problem, maintenance, if your one of the generating station is down, you may say, okay, for 1 hour, I can support the whole transmission line with the batteries. Is it true? Have you seen this? That energy storage is supporting your power grid. Have you ever seen this? Yes or no? Anybody? Chalo, I do not know if it is unidirectional or bidirectional. But a participant can speak out, Vijay.
Sir, one
मैंने ऐसे
participant
पूछ
sir message no sir.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. We will have some interaction towards the end, right? So anyway, this is what I want to convey that to you all, that storage. And again, if I take an example of a transmission line, right? So have you seen a large storage substation which is supporting your transmission line just to improve stability or to support some contingency power or to support the losses? You might not have seen, right? You might not even seen even the distribution system substation has a battery backup. Have you seen? If the power is cut, which is very regular in our part of the country, and you will start getting a power from the directly from substation. I don't think anybody has seen this. The only thing which you have seen, that when the power is cut, your home inverter will start feeding the load. That is the only solution which you have seen. So that I mean to say that low power application is matched with the available energy storage. But when it comes to medium and high power, we don't have a storage technology which is matching with the requirement. And it is not like that we don't require the storage in a high and medium power. It is not like that. We badly require, but we don't have actually. Some of you might have heard that there is a flywheel storage in a thermal power station. It's one of the unique technology which is being used over 100 or 200 years. But because of its poor efficiency, poor dynamic performance, still it's not the way used the way we all want actually. Right? So these are the few things I just want to stamp on your mind, that okay, where we are really lacking and why I am today delivering this talk. So the ESS can be treated as a load and it stores the energy for later use, right? In order to peak demand, the ESS can act as a generator. That's what we want actually, right? Due to high round trip efficiency, the ESS is a potential solution. It may be possible that some of the ESS may have a high round trip efficiency. Round trip efficiency means storing the energy and delivering the energy, right? Now, how much part of the power you lost while charging the storage and while discharging the storage? The total loss divided by the total power transferred is what the round trip efficiency, in a very simple manner. So as we can say, the battery storage has a very good round trip efficiency, but a flywheel storage has a very poor round trip efficiency. It's something like that. All of you are using a mobile phone, so you charge your mobile 100% and it takes some energy, but while discharging, it goes to 0%. It may not give the same amount of energy because of the losses taking place in the middle, right? But those losses may be 5% or 10% at the most. So you may have a 90% of round trip efficiency. But same thing if you think of in a flywheel, you drive a motor to run a flywheel and store the energy in a potential energy form, right? It will involve a lot of losses in a form of mechanical energy, right? And then you retrieve the energy by unwinding this and running a turbine and then getting electrical energy. Maybe the round trip efficiency is less than 30%. That's what the meaning of round trip efficiency. I hope all of you understood. The state of charge of ESS is an important control parameter. SOC of ESS is an important control parameter. right? So as we all understand now, what is state of charge? All of you have your cell phones. You always see how much percentage of your charging done. That is what state of charge, right? Then a bidirectional DC to DC converter along with energy management supervisory control can play a vital role. This is just a one example that especially in a battery energy storage, you may need a bidirectional DC to DC converter for energy management, right? Okay, so this is just a typical slide which I normally present just to update all of you that how much is the current installed power in our country. So as of this year, 31st March, we have total 382 gigawatt of installed energy. Out of that, 234 gigawatt is thermal, which amounts about 61%. Hydro is about 46 gigawatt, which amounts about 12%. Nuclear is about 6.8 gigawatt, which amounts about 1.8%. And renewable, which is a really upcoming, is about 94 gigawatt, which amounts approximately 25% this year. So this is a part of energy which is growing very fast because of the all issues, global warming issues, and government of India is promoting so much towards the generation of renewable. Then if we break up the renewable of 94.4 gigawatt, you may see that out of this, this is the first time that solar power has exceeded the wind power. As if today the installed power till last year, the wind was higher, always higher till last year. So this is a landmark year when solar has surpassed the wind installed power. So this is a great achievement, and it has to go a long way. It has to go a long way. So about 41% is wind and 42% is solar, whereas small hydro is about 4.9% and 10% is about biopower. And this is our potential. So you must know that we have a lot of potential of solar, about 750 gigawatt, and about 50 to 100 years down the line, we may install about 500 gigawatt of solar PV plants. So time will come, then we will see. We have a good wind profile also, 300 gigawatt. But other than that, these are very small numbers. So we have a lot of potential from renewable, but the problem with the renewable, and this is a target. This is a target by Government of India. All of you know this. 175 gigawatt by next year, means 2022. And we have reached up to 100 gigawatt till now, but the rest of the 75 gigawatts is likely to be achieved by next year. Out of that, 40-50 gigawatt is already in pipeline, and it's almost installed, and it is need to be synchronized with the grid, including 40 gigawatt of hybrid wind solar in Gujarat, which has been inaugurated last year by our Prime Minister. So that also include about the total 175 gigawatt, but it is yet to be installed, completely installed and put into the grid. So this is all our targets. Now coming back to our energy storage, why I in the middle told you this installed capacity, because the main reason is that our installed capacity is increasing in the proportion for the renewable. And all of you know renewable is an intermittent source of power. All of you know this. Right? Like thermal power, like hydro, like nuclear, they are predictable and they are controllable. More importantly, they are controllable. But solar and wind, which are the main force for renewable, are intermittent. And these two diagrams will tell you the intermittency. You can see the solar plot for 24-hour solar plot, and what you will see that during only for about 10 to 12 hours, the solar output is varying like this, which has a peak. And on an average, when we talk, solar power is about 5 kilowatt hour per day. So 5 units of energy at the most you can harness from the solar plant, from a 1 kilowatt of plant. So typically 1 kilowatt of solar plant can deliver 5 units of energy on an average per year, per day. ठीक है, कभी वो 3 यूनिट देगा, कभी 7 यूनिट देगा, विंटर्स में 3 यूनिट देगा, समर्स में 7 यूनिट दे सकता है. बट अगर आप पूरे साल का एवरेज करेंगे तो अबाउट 5 यूनिट्स ऑफ एनर्जी इट कैन प्रोवाइड 1 किलोवाट प्लांट. तो आपने अगर अपने घर पे 1 किलोवाट ऑफ प्लांट लगाया हुआ है तो आप ये एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि एवरेज, ऑन एन एवरेज यू विल गेट 5 यूनिट ऑफ एनर्जी पर डे. ठीक है, और उसी के प्रोपोर्शन में आप उसको इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको 10 यूनिट चाहिए एवरेज तो आप 2 किलोवाट लगा लीजिए. ठीक है ना, तो एज लाइक दिस. एंड दिस 5 किलोवाट आवर पर डे, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग इट्स अ टेंटेटिव, राइट. अगर आप अभी गुजरात में हैं तो आपको 6 यूनिट भी मिल सकता है. ठीक है, और आप अगर कहीं फॉर एग्जांपल नॉर्थ ईस्ट में है तो हो सकता है आपको 3 ही यूनिट मिले पर डे. और आप अगर यूपी में हैं, आप सोनभद्र में हैं, तो आपको 5 यूनिट मिल सकती है पर किलोवाट ऑफ सोलर प्लांट, राइट. सो दिस इज हाउ वी and we know that this 5 unit and all which I am talking is not like एक बार में आपको मिल जाएगा. ये आपका, it's all, you can see this map. ये दिन भर में ऐसे रात को तो खैर 0 ही रहता है, but early morning if you start then it will rise and then in the middle it may oscillate also. कभी ज्यादा हो जाएगा, कभी थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा, और ये ऑसिलेट करते करते फिर ये, तो हाई लेवल ऑफ इंटरमिटेंसी इन देयर, है ना. अभी जैसे आज का मौसम है, हम लोग देख रहे हैं कभी धूप है कभी छांव है. तो जब धूप रहेगी तो आपको ज्यादा मिल जाएगा, जब छांव रहेगी तो आपको कम पावर मिलेगी, बिकॉज सोलर पावर इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द इरेडिएशन लेवल, वॉट्स पर मीटर स्क्वायर. ठीक है, अभी इस समय करीब 12:15 बज रहा है और द सोलर रेडिएशन इज अबाउट 1000 वाट पर मीटर स्क्वायर. बट हो सकता है कि अभी जैसे ही क्लाउड्स आ जाएंगे तो इट विल रिड्यूस टू 400 वाट पर मीटर स्क्वायर, राइट. सो दैट्स व्हाट द काइंड ऑफ इंटरमिटेंसी. तो आपको बराबर तो नहीं मिल रहा. इसी तरह अगर आप विंड को देखेंगे, विंड को देखिए, विंड का प्रोफाइल इतना रैंडम है. थ्रू आउट द ईयर इट इज सो रैंडम. ठीक है, अक्रॉस द ईयर इट इज लाइक दिस, अक्रॉस द मंथ इट इज लाइक दिस. So the wind profile is, and you know, output power of a wind turbine is cubic proportion of a wind speed. तो अगर आपका 8 मीटर पर सेकेंड का विंड स्पीड है तो आपको अगर x पावर मिल रहा है, वॉट्स, किलोवाट, तो अगर आप उसको डबल कर देते हैं, 16 मीटर पर सेकेंड की अगर विंड स्पीड है तो आपको 8x पावर मिल जाएगा. So wind speed has lot of impact on the power output and that too it is intermittent. तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि अगर विंड स्पीड इतना इंटरमिटेंट है तो फ्लक्चुएशन ऑफ पावर विल बी कितना ज्यादा हो सकता है. ठीक है, अगर 2 टाइम्स का विंड फ्लक्चुएशन है तो 8 टाइम्स का पावर फ्लक्चुएशन होगा. हाउ मच इट इज इंटरमिटेंट. सो ऑल्दो वी आर टॉकिंग कि अगर 25% रिन्यूएबल से पावर हो जाए और 50% भी हो जाए, सब कुछ हो जाए, बहुत बढ़िया है. बट ये जो इंटरमिटेंसी है, it is so large that the energy driven by these resources are not like we want actually. So in order to compensate these intermittency, we definitely need energy storage. ठीक है, जैसे ही सोलर रेडिएशन कम हुआ, एनर्जी स्टोरेज ने बाकी का पावर डिलीवर कर दिया. तो आप जब भी रिन्यूएबल का डेवलपमेंट करेंगे, आपको इन पैरेलल स्टोरेज का डेवलपमेंट करना ही पड़ेगा. देयर इज नो वे आउट. अगर मैं कहूं कि डाउन द 10 years लेटर, जैसा कि गवर्नमेंट भी कह रही है कि 40 या 50% फ्रॉम रिन्यूएबल, ठीक है ना, तो 50% रिन्यूएबल हो गया, अब उसकी इंटरमिटेंसी को कौन टेक केयर करेगा? तो यू हैव, एंड दैट टू हैविंग द सेम डायनेमिक्स, राइट? केवल यही नहीं है कि डीजल जनरेटर चला दिया तो वो मैच कर गया. Diesel generator doesn't have that dynamics as we require. So you need a flexible electrical storage like battery storage. ठीक है, जैसे ही आपका पावर गया, इन्वर्टर ने आपका बैटरी बैकअप चला दिया. There is no interruption in the power. Such a beautiful thing. Is it possible कि एक फ्लाईव्हील लगा ले, या आपने देखा होगा डीजल जनरेटर हम लगाते हैं, ये तो बहुत कॉमन एग्जांपल है. ठीक है, आपके घर में कुछ लोगों ने जनरेटर लगा रखा है और पावर जाता है तो आपको जनरेटर करने ऑन करने में कितना टाइम लगता है? कम से कम 5 मिनट लगता है. नाउ दैट दोस 5 मिनट्स आर वेरी क्रूशियल. अभी अगर मैं आपको प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहा हूं और मेरा बैकअप जो है वो पावर से आ रहा है, और अगर मेरा पावर चला जाए तो यू वांट कि नहीं 5 मिनट में वेट करूंगा और मेरा डीजल जनरेटर ऑन हो जाए तब आपको बैकअप मिले? ऐसा तो आप नहीं चाहते हैं. You want immediate. So battery is there, which is giving you the backup uninterrupted. So intermittency has to be matched with the good dynamic response of a storage. केवल storage होना important नहीं है, उसका dynamic characteristic भी बहुत important है, right? So what are the features and motivation for storage? You can see here. Variation in energy demand load, that's what I was just explaining. Variation in energy supply, interruption in energy supply, transmission congestion, demand for portable energy, efficiency of energy system, energy recovery. ठीक है, ये सारे पॉइंट्स हैं. जब भी आप एनर्जी स्टोरेज डेवलप करने जाएंगे या आप पढ़ेंगे, तो these are the important points which you need to consider. A next generation smart grid without energy storage, like a computer without a hard drive, right? So this is what the quote actually, right? अब आपको एनर्जी स्टोरेज का इंपॉर्टेंस तो मालूम पड़ गया. ठीक है, अब उसको 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 कौन कंट्रोल करेगा? बिकॉज एक तो विंड टर्बाइन है, एक सोलर है, एक स्टोरेज है, इसको इंटीग्रेट कौन करेगा? हु विल इंटीग्रेट, right? That is another challenge, because all have the different forms of energy. Solar has the solar form, wind है तो wind है उसमें, और energy है तो chemical है. You see the beauty of this thing. A three source of energy. One is mechanically this wind, है ना? दूसरा, I mean, it's totally a mechanical form of energy. दूसरा एक solar है, which is totally optical form of energy. और तीसरा बैटरी है जो विच इज टोटली केमिकल फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी. अभी इसमें कहीं भी इलेक्ट्रिकल का नाम आया नहीं. और जितना भी प्रोसेस होना है सारी की सारी एनर्जी, दिस इज सपोज टू बी प्रोसेस्ड बाय इलेक्ट्रिकल पीपल लाइक यू. ठीक है, तो ये कैसे होगा? सबको एक ही डोमेन में लाना है. ऑल द फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी हैज टू बी ब्रॉट इन अ वन डोमेन, एंड देन दे हैव टू बी क्लब्ड. So we have a very beautiful power electronics or power processor, right? Power electronics devices have to play a role for integration of all these things, different forms of energy. बाकी आपके पास इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल है, फोटोवोल्टाइक है, केमिकल इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी है, इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल है, इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल है, ये ऑप्टिकल है ना, फोटोवोल्टाइक है जिसको बोलते हैं. So photovoltaic will convert optical to electrical. Electromechanical will convert mechanical to electrical. Electrochemical will convert chemical to electrical. And then everything will come to electrical, but in its raw form. Then who will convert into a uniform form? That is actually the power electronics. So energy storage have to be coupled with our existing resources, but then there has to be a in between components, right? So now you can see how the leveling of energy can be done. Storage is an integrating technology, right? It is actually a integrating technology, enable supply to better match the demand, enable renewables as a firm power source, right? without storage, renewable really doesn't have much meaning, right? Conversion of energy to other forms so that it may be used at later stage when required. That is energy storage. An energy storage device with the ability to store electrical energy and keep it stored for undefined period of time. Right? So this is the difference between energy storage and energy storage devices. कभी कभी आप ES पढ़ते हैं, कभी ESD पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है ना? According to market research firm, the global energy market is growing exponentially to an annual installation size of 6 gigawatt in 2017 and 40 gigawatt by 2022, right? From 0.34 gigawatt in 2013. So this is the growth expected, right? ये जो 6 गीगावाट 17 में था, ये अभी 40 गीगावाट होने वाला है 22 में, जो कि 0.34 गीगावाट 12 में था, right? So this is a kind of thing, and this example you can take any very nice sunny day will have this solar energy profile. आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, ये एक सोलर एनर्जी का प्रोफाइल है एक टिपिकली सोलर प्लांट से, और ये हमारा एक एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट का प्रोफाइल है. अगर एक टिपिकल रेजिडेंशियल लोड देखें तो दिस इज अवर रिक्वायरमेंट. अभी दोनों मैच नहीं कर रहा है, बिल्कुल मैच नहीं कर रहा है ना. every time load has to match with the source has to match the load, but if you have totally renewable and totally load, the both profiles cannot match. So who will match? The storage can only match. The storage is the only device which can match this leveling, load leveling. Okay, so value of storage: increase renewable integration, reduce dependence on fossil fuel, reduce operating expenses, balance electricity supply and demand, improve power quality and reliability, avoid costly system upgrades, keep critical equipment online, reduce utility bills, reliable backup power, reduce utility bills, generate revenue also. Okay, so these are the few things the value of storage has. It can be utilized in utilities, grid operation, commercial consumers, and residential consumers. These are the application domain of the storage, right? All utility, grid operators, commercial consumers, residential consumers. And apart from that, even it can be used in generation as well. Okay, so you can see this picture where again all these energy storage can play a role. See the kind of thing. ठीक है, आप लोग ये पिक्चर देखिए, 1 मिनट में मैं आता हूं, बस 1 मिनट. Okay, so sorry for interruption. Okay, there was a small interruption, so sorry for the. I hope. Okay, so this is a picture I just wanted to see you. I hope by this 2 minutes, all of you have seen this, and you can see the role of storage, frequency regulation, right? It can be done at a generation level, can be used for generator leveling. Then it can be used for load leveling, right? Frequency and voltage regulation, it can be used through some compensating device like PF capacitors or something else, or any power electronics compensator. Renewable plants, generation leveling, just we have discussed in detail. Then again, transmission line, frequency and voltage regulation, load leveling, power quality, another important aspect. It can be used for power quality enhancement. Okay, so and lastly, ESS at your home, right? Which is right now you are using. We are well off in ESS at the home. Peak shaving, it can be used. So this is a diagram which will well depict you that the role of energy storage for a smart generation and smart distribution in any city. तो कह दो आधा घंटे बाद आएंगे फिर. Okay, so okay, fine. So now what important thing I would like to tell you. A very very important thing. ठीक है, जो कि शायद आप लोगों ने कुछ सुना हो नहीं सुना हो पता नहीं, बट हैव यू हर्ड ऑफ ग्रिड स्केल स्टोरेज? ये जो भी अभी मैं बता रहा था यहाँ पे, एक्सेप्ट दिस वन, ये तो आप यूज करते हैं अपने घरों में यूज करते हैं, बट एक्सेप्ट दिस वन, it's all grid level storage, right? Which right now it's not existing. लेकिन ये अभी this is a newer concept which has been started for the so-called smart cities. So-called smart cities. And what is that? Grid scale storage. So a grid scale storage is nothing but the same storage but at the level of grid. So I think you people have heard of कि भाई सब स्टेशन है, तो अभी तक तो हमारे जनरल ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सब स्टेशन होते थे, फिर बीच बीच में हम लोगों ने देखे कि सब स्टेशन आर यूज फॉर दिस पावर ट्रांसफर, लाइक इफ यू गो टू HVDC देयर इज अ पावर कन्वर्जन सब स्टेशन. ठीक है, फिर कंपनसेटिंग सब स्टेशन भी बने अभी, जैसे आपका SVC सब स्टेशन, ट्रांसमिशन लाइन पे एक पूरा स्टैटिक वार कंपनसेटर लगा दिया गया फॉर पावर फैक्टर इंप्रूवमेंट. It's a SVC substation. Now a newer concept will come, a storage substation, a storage station. Okay, so you can think of a big building, you can think of a big building kind of thing, a big area, है ना? जैसे अभी आपने देखा solar plants are there, which is there in a hectares of area, 1 kilometer square. If you go to somewhere in a big solar power plants, 100 meter square, 500 meter square, this is the area of solar plants, and there is a solar substation also. Now is the time to develop storage substations, and this concept is called grid scale utility or grid scale storage. Sorry, it's a very recent thing which is just picked up this year, right? The total grid utility market is expected to touch the total storage capacity of 2500 gigawatt hour, including the storage in electric vehicle batteries and pumped hydro storage. Right, so the utility market through storage utility market is growing like anything. Right, the importance is coming like anything. Considerable increase in a stationary storage, also called as battery storage, is tend to increase for utility grid applications. Same thing. Till 2030, the major shift in PV plus storage system to between 11, 10, 110 gigawatt hour to 160 gigawatt hour. Right. The rest of Asia has been shown to reaching up to 70 gigawatt hour to 90 gigawatt hour. Means Asia countries has the major share of total PV plus storage. Right? Why Asian country? Because Asian countries are rich in solar power. So more than half is the share of solar plus storage by 20, out of which India will produce the major chunk. That's another important thing. Right? So this is something which is a very new concept, grid scale storage, and which is a backbone of a smart cities. Okay. Now some more very latest information, just because I was compiling these data around a month back. So fortunately I have this data. So let me share with this data with you. The very important data, remember, grid scale battery storage market is estimated to grow up to 108 gigawatt hour by the fiscal year 2930. Just what I have shown in a previous slide. As per the Central Electricity Authority, as per CEA, 108 gigawatt hour will be our size of storage, grid scale storage by 2930. Then the India's first grid scale battery storage project was commissioned in February 2019, 2 years back. It was a pilot project by Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. Okay. That project was built by Fluence, a partnership between American Electricity Supply and Mitsubishi Corporation. So this is the first, on record, the first installation of storage for any grid scale level, and that too at a distribution level. This is just limited to distribution level, right? And it has a very small power limit, like I think it is about 500 kilowatt hour. 500 kilowatt hour is the size of this. So very small scale. But officially, this is what Delhi Distribution Authority has done. What is the backbone of this storage grid scale? A lithium-ion battery storage. Okay, it is actually the lithium-ion battery storage, which is used in BESS, battery energy storage, will serve multiple applications and could pave way for adoption of smart energy networks based on renewable energy across the India. Right. So recently the national NTPC, yeah, this is very, very important line. All of you remember this. Recently, or you can say very recently, the NTPC has floated a global tender of setting up of 1000 megawatt hour of grid scale battery energy storage. So NTPC is planning to install 1 gigawatt hour of energy storage. That means they are the first organization in the India who is planning storage at the generation, because NTPC is a generation company. If they are procuring 1 gigawatt hour of storage, that means they are installing it in their generation, and it will be distributed across the country through their different installations. And even we interacted with the NTPC, and we have some plans for utilization of storage or new technology for storage that we are also planning. So this is the reason why I have these informations, and it's a very vital information to all of you. You be aware of this, and you may find future research in this direction. Okay, so the cost of storage and the capacity is increasing like this. Okay, so the capacity was very, very small in 10, its cost was very high. Now the capacity is increasing, just I mentioned, and the cost is reducing, but it got steady now because the cost is also something which we cannot reduce tremendously, right? Like the cost of solar plants are reducing very sharply, but the cost of storage is not so reducing sharply. And that's what the reason I told you, this is the area where we are still unmatched. We are still unmatched with the requirement. I hope you understand why I am saying repeatedly ki what is our requirement is perfectly not matched with what we wanted to transfer, right? So we badly require this development of storage technology. Just I observed my video was off. Okay, so now typical storage technology, typical, right? It's a very popular slide. Some of you might have seen. We have a very conventional storage, which we call mechanical. Most of you are aware of. The most popular one is a flywheel. This is the most popular storage, which is there in a thermal power generations. Pumped hydro, right? You have like a hydro stations, hydro power station. Whenever you have excess energy, you keep it at a height, you create a head, and then when you need them, you release it. Compressed air, you compress the gas in a chamber, and then you can release for release of the energy. So this is totally mechanical. It's totally mechanical, hydraulic, or whatever you can call, right? Then electrochemical, which are actually our technology today. We are using lead acid battery in your inverters. You are using lithium ion battery in your laptops, in your mobiles. Other form of batteries are nickel cadmium, nickel metahydroxide, NAS, and variety of battery technologies are there. But as I mentioned that lead acid battery is what we conventionally use in our household applications of inverters and UPS. Nickel cadmium lithium ion battery is what we use in most of the applications of electronic gadgets. And also lithium ion batteries are coming up, batteries, portable batteries for grid scale storage, just I mentioned. We have another battery which has category flow batteries, which is upcoming redox and hybrid flow, which is there in a development stage. So these are the electrochemical. You know the energy is stored in a form of chemical, but it can be retrieved electrically. So very established technology, very old technology. Then purely electrical technology. That's what we want actually. But unfortunately, we are not able to do it. Ultra capacitor or super capacitors. This is one form of storage which is in development. We have some application in motor drives and electrical vehicles, the super capacitors, electrical double layer, pseudo capacitor, hybrid capacitors. This is what the technology coming up. Then another electrical form is superconducting magnetic coil. These are the purely, this is electrostatic form of energy, and this is electromagnetic form of energy. So two important forms of energy are there in a form of storage device, that is ultracapacitor or supercapacitor or superconducting magnetic coil. Okay? So these are the two forms of energy we know. This is the comparison table. This is again very popular comparison table. You can look upon this table. It's widely available in even in the internet also. You can look upon this. There is a comparison between ultracapacitor, supercapacitor, and the this energy storage. Okay, that is magnetic energy storage, superconducting coil magnetic energy storage. Right, this is the purely electrical form. So because they are purely electrical form, their efficiency is very good. They have a lot of very high efficiency. Their cycle life is very high. Life cycle is very high. Their power density is very high. Specific power density is very high. But the only thing which is very poor, which makes them least utilizable, is their energy density. Specific energy, which we call energy density. That is very poor for purely electrical storage. And that's the reason they are not popular. Right? So which one is more popular is these typical chemical batteries. They are very popular. Why? Because they have a very good energy densities. Right? But they are poor in power density, but still they are useful. ठीक है, जैसे आप कहते हैं ना कि आपने एसी लगाया तो बैटरी से क्या एसी को चला सकते हैं, है ना? तो आजकल तो अभी टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो गई है, बट जो पुराने पुराने रेफ्रिजरेटर्स थे और पुराने एयर कंडीशनर्स थे, उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम थी? प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि जब आप इन्वर्टर से इसको चलाते हैं, देयर इज इनिशियल टॉर्क, initial current which is very high. So because battery doesn't have a high energy power density, so it cannot provide a instantaneous large power. तो आपके एसी और रेफ्रिजरेटर्स नहीं चलते थे पहले, नहीं चलते थे, है ना? पहले आप नहीं चलाते थे, बट अब मार्केट में क्या आ गया है? मार्केट में क्या आ गया है? लीनियर टेक्नोलॉजी. आपके पास अगर एक कोई रेफ्रिजरेटर है नया, तो आप उसमें देखेंगे लीनियर मोटर, है ना? फ्रिज लिखा होगा लीनियर एयर कंडीशनर, और उसमें ऐसे लिखा होगा कि इन्वर्टर फ्रिज, है ना? बहुत से लोगों ने देखा होगा. What does all these things means? Because you have typical storage like battery, जो कि आप इन्वर्टर से चलाना चाहते हैं, but they have a very low power density. But all these typically devices which has motor driven requires a large power density. जैसे आपको मालूम है कि भाई इंडक्शन मोटर है, तो इनिशियल में आपके 2-3 टाइम्स उसका करंट ज्यादा होगा. तो वो जो इनिशियल 1 सेकेंड का पावर डेंसिटी है रिक्वायरमेंट, a battery cannot match actually. So a linear technology will not require. It will slowly run the machine, and it is continuously operating machines. So it doesn't have a problem of on and off, which is very typical in a older fridge and ACs. Now they are operated at a partial power, या उसका regulated power है. So there is no problem of requirement of large energy density. बट इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स में ये अभी भी रिक्वायरमेंट है. ठीक है, वहां पे तो हम ऐसा नहीं कह सकते, क्योंकि जैसे ही आपको एक एक्सेलरेशन ज्यादा चाहिए, आपको ब्रेक लगाना है, आपको एक्सेलरेट करना है, तो यू नीड अ लार्ज पावर डेंसिटी, राइट? सो इट रियली डजंट वर्क. सो यू मे नीड अ सुपर कैपेसिटर विथ इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल्स फॉर गिविंग अ लार्ज पावर डेंसिटी. तो यहाँ पे कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं जो इसके सभी के कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग कहाँ पे किसको यूज किया जा सकता है. इट्स ऑल देयर, राइट? एंड ऑन द बॉटम यू विल फाइंड प्योरली मैकेनिकल, विच हैज अ वेरी लो राउंड ट्रिप एफिशिएंसी, वेरी लो एफिशिएंसी, इज वेरी लो, लाइफ साइकिल इज हाई. ठीक है, पावर डेंसिटी इज नॉट वेरी गुड, एनर्जी डेंसिटी इज हाई. तो ये सब कंपैरिजन है, and you can go through it for this storage. Now there is a regulatory authority, National Energy Storage Mission by Government of India, which has by 2030 India can account for more than 1/3 of global market for batteries for EVs, है ना? एंड एस्पिरेशन टू अचीव 100% EVs, है ना, बाय 2030. तो 2030 तक हो सकता है कि पूरा का पूरा EV हो जाए, या 40%. तो मैंने भी सुना था कि बाय 2030 यू हैव 40% ऑफ EVs ओनली. तो EVs होगा तो बैटरी भी चाहिए, तो बैटरी का मार्केट बहुत बड़ा होगा. इंडिया मार्केट फॉर EV कुड बी वर्थ 300 बिलियन 17 to 30 तक में पहुंच सकता है. ठीक है, तो ये सब डेटा है कुछ जो कि it's all there, right? So but along with the storage, because storage alone cannot be used to integrate the power. So you need a power electronics technology to make them usable, transferable, controllable for all these purposes.
सर आवाज नहीं आ रही है आपकी।
Vijay,
यस सर।
जी सर।
ओके सॉरी, ये अभी मैं देखो स्टोरेज की बात ही कर रहा था और ये थोड़ा सा डिस्टरबेंस हुआ यहाँ पे, पावर कट हुआ बिकॉज ऑफ सब। ऐसे यहाँ नहीं होता पावर कट, बट पावर कट हुआ और मेरा लैपटॉप तो खैर बैकअप है, अभी मैं बात ही कर रहा था बैटरी की, तो पावर बैकअप इज देयर, बट व्हाट वाज नॉट देयर, बैकअप ऑन द वाईफाई, राइट? तो अभी यही सब है कि वी नीड अ ग्रिड स्टोरेज विच कैन एक्चुअली सपोर्ट एवरीथिंग, है ना? लैपटॉप सपोर्टेड है, लाइट सपोर्टेड है, बट व्हाट इज नॉट सपोर्टेड इज दिस वाईफाई विच इज ड्राइविंग दिस इंटरनेट। तो ये जो भी टाइम लगा मुझे वाईफाई से अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन वाईफाई से मोबाइल नेटवर्क पे आने पे। So anyway, that's what I was, we can understand now. At least we have a storage because of which I could actually continue my presentation, because my laptop was having a storage and my power having a storage, right? But unfortunately, the institutional network is not on a storage. So that was the reason. Again, the power got resumed. But yeah, so I'm sure I'm continued. Yeah, okay, fine. So just to continue, features. Power electronics is needed for all these: efficient interfacing of ESS with HV bus, efficient charging and discharging, है ना? आपका भी जितने भी गजेट्स हैं उसमें पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स यूज हो रहा है चार्जिंग डिस्चार्जिंग के लिए, ये आप ध्यान रखिएगा। हाँ,
प्लीज शेयर योर स्क्रीन सर, इट इज नॉट विजिबल।
ओके ओके ओके, आवाज आ रही है?
जी 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 सर,
आवाज आ रही है, स्क्रीन ऑन शेयर हो गया। I think now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir.
So, just I was saying that these are the features: ESS protection, bidirectional power flow, charging, discharging, both through a same converter, converting voltage in appropriate format and level, MPP, maximum power point tracking, efficient interfacing of AC grid with DC bus. These are the features of power electronics control. Application: renewable, hybrid EVs, fuel cell, hybrid power system, storage, UPS, power disruption, battery storage, grid scale storage. This is the new thing. I have written new trend, a very, very important. and we have started working on this. How we can use a grid scale storage with a distributed control. That's what our new topic. We are working on it, and we are trying to have a NTPC in this project. So, as far as smart city, you can see how the things can be located. You have loads, AC load, DC load. Then you have a microgrid, right? You have this storage. You can see this is a grid scale storage. In a city or in a locality, you have a grid which we can call a microgrid. You have a loads. You can have a AC load. You can have a DC loads, right? You have a power, grid power, which is coming through to the microgrid. You have various resources like wind turbine, PV module, micro turbine, fuel cell. Now all these are getting into a main grid, that is a microgrid. Through everything is coming through power electronics converters. Everything. Because all the forms of power have to be in a one domain. At the same voltage, same frequency, same everything, right? And the most important thing which we are discussing today is this one, this device. This is a storage, EES, energy storage, and this is not a small storage like your inverter battery. है ना, ये कोई 500 AH की बैटरी नहीं है. This could be a 5000 AH, could be a 5000 AH or 5,000 gigawatt hour if it is at the national level or at the regional level. So those are the, or you can say, but just I mentioned 1 gigawatt hour is what the NTPC is planning. So if you think of a total national, it could be 5 gigawatt hour or 500 gigawatt hour. So those are the levels. Or if it is city, it could be, let's say, 1 megawatt hour. Could be 1 megawatt hour. So for 1 hour, it can generate 1 megawatt of power, something like that. That is the scale of storage required. That is the scale of storage required for city. And I just mentioned you 500 kilowatt hour what is Delhi Electricity Board installed for it's a very small pilot project. So if you need to run a city, you may need something like 10 to 50 megawatt hour of the battery storage. ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर एक सिटी की रिक्वायरमेंट अगर मान के चलें, है ना, एक 10 मेगावाट या 50 मेगावाट पावर है, ठीक है, या इससे भी ज्यादा होगी, राइट, तो आप उसकी एनर्जी फीड करने के लिए 1 घंटे के लिए सेम लेवल का चाहिए, बट 24 आवर्स है तो आप उसको 24 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए. ठीक है. सो टिपिकली 10 मेगावाट load may require 24 megawatt hour of the storage. इस तरह से आप इसको कंप्यूट करिए. ये अब आप लोग अपने दिमाग में बैठा लिए कैसे कंप्यूट किया जाता है स्टोरेज को. ठीक है ना, कि अगर आपको 10 मेगावाट, जैसे आपका मान लीजिए आप किसी कॉलेज में हैं, उस कॉलेज का लोड 1 मेगावाट है. मान लीजिए आपके कैंपस का लोड 1 मेगावाट है. ठीक है, तो आपको 1 मेगावाट पावर चाहिए, और अगर आपको 24 आवर्स 1 मेगावाट चाहिए, ठीक है, तो उसको थोड़ा कम कर लीजिए, क्योंकि दिन में ज्यादा चाहिए, इवनिंग में कम चाहिए, रात को ज्यादा चाहिए. तो ऑन एन एवरेज चलो अगर मान लें 0.5 मेगावाट पावर है, ठीक है, 24 आवर्स के लिए, तो 24 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 5, 12 megawatt hour of the storage is what required for your campus. Right? Is it clear? So you can understand the scale of storage. आप एक अपने स्केल सोच सकते हैं. है ना। जैसे आपकी आपकी इन्वर्टर की बैटरी 500 एम्पियर आवर्स की है, 0.5 किलो आई मीन एम्पियर आवर्स, तो वोल्टेज से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए। तो जनरली बैटरीज एम्पियर आवर्स में या वॉट आवर्स में डिफाइंड होती है, क्योंकि उसका उसका वोल्टेज 48 वोल्ट होता है। तो आप उसको डिवाइड करके बैटरी के वोल्टेज से आप एम्पियर आवर निकाल सकते हैं। ठीक है, जनरली ये वॉट्स और वॉट आवर तो हमको पता रहता है, एम्पियर आवर थोड़ा टिपिकल है। एम्पियर आवर निकालने के लिए आपको बैटरी की वोल्टेज से डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है, या अगर आपको एम्पियर आवर मालूम है तो उसके वोल्टेज से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, तो यू विल गेट अ वॉट आवर। और फिर आपको कितना बैकअप चाहिए, उतने नंबर ऑफ आवर से उसको डिवाइड करिए, तो आपको उसका पावर मिल जाएगा। ठीक है, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू शो। और फॉर ए सिटी, टिपिकल स्मार्ट सिटी, हाउ मच यू रिक्वायर। अब अगर आपको इस लेक्चर के बाद कोई पूछेगा तो आप कैलकुलेटर से कैलकुलेट करके बता सकते हो। ठीक है, कि एक मेरी सिटी है, इलाहाबाद है, वहाँ पे 1 गीगावाट का रिक्वायरमेंट है पूरे कंप्लीट तहसील को लेकर के, सब जितने भी गांव हैं। तो अगर मेरे को इंस्टॉल करना है बैटरी को, ठीक है, तो मुझे कितने गीगावाट आवर की बैटरी चाहिए। यू कैन कैलकुलेट, यू कैन कैलकुलेट। हाँ, ये है कि यू हैव टू डिफाइन योर पर्पस। क्या पूरा का पूरा बैकअप चाहिए आपको बैटरी से, तो आपको 100% 24 आवर से डिवाइड करना मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। क्या आपको केवल पार्ट ऑफ क्रिटिकल लोड सपोर्ट करने हैं, तो आप उतना लोड मल्टीप्लाई करके करिए। ठीक है, क्या आपको केवल एसेंशियल लोड सप्लाई करने हैं, लाइक हॉस्पिटल, है ना, टेलीकॉम लोड्स, वाईफाई लोड्स, तो आप उतना लोड कंसीडर करिए। या आपको केवल ये कंपनसेशन के लिए चाहिए, तो आप उस तरह से वीए निकालिए कितना कंपनसेशन चाहिए, एंड यू कैन कैलकुलेट द एनर्जी स्टोरेज फॉर योर सिटी। इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ ए सिटी। हो सकता है आज की रिक्वायरमेंट केवल इतनी हो कि आई वांट टू रन ओनली द क्रिटिकल लोड्स लाइक हॉस्पिटल्स, टेलीकॉम पावर्स एंड अदर्स। हाँ हेलो, हाँ नितिन, हाँ, अच्छा ठीक है। So, sorry, there was just a call, important call. So I was just in a call. So let me continue. ज़्यादा टाइम बचा नहीं है. I'll just try to wind up. अभी मैं इसको. This is what I was talking about the thing. Now, this is another thing which you can look upon. कि किसी एक टिपिकल बस पे, ठीक है, कैसे स्टोरेज लग सकते हैं, ये स्टोरेज है. Now there is a requirement of bidirectional DC-DC converter. There is a grid, and then there is a solar wind turbine. ये solar है, ये wind turbine है. PMSG है, DFIG, SCIG है, सबके लिए अलग अलग पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स रिक्वायरमेंट है। ये जस्ट एक टेंटेटिव है कि अगर आपके पास 11 केवी का बस है और आप 11 केवी के बस पे आप अपने एक मान लो किसी गांव को इंटीग्रेट करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है, तो उस गांव में क्या क्या हो सकता है और कहाँ कहाँ से क्या पावर ट्रांसफर हो सकती है। तो अगर बैटरी स्टोरेज है तो डेफिनेटली बायडायरेक्शनल होना चाहिए, ये दिस नीड टू बी बायडायरेक्शनल, ठीक है। ओके, so let me continue. This is a bidirectional converter. Anyway, I just skip this because bidirectional is what the one very important converter which may be required for future storage. तो मैंने एक ऐसे स्लाइड बनाई थी कि बायडायरेक्शनल में बेसिकली क्या है कि एक हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर यूज होता है। यू कैन सी द साइज ऑफ हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर। केवल इसलिए बनाया है कि आप देखें इसको 2 kVA का हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर कितना छोटा है, and this is towards a smart distribution of power in the storage. So integration of renewable to ESS via bidirectional converter. तो नॉर्मली हमारा जो डीसी बस है जो कि हाई वोल्टेज डीसी बस होता है, it is supposed to be integrated with the low voltage batteries. So how it will be integrated and how the power can be transferred in both the directions through a common converter. That's what the depicted here. कुछ डीएबी की ये बारे में है, ये आज मैं नहीं बता रहा तो इसलिए I just skipping. This is one of the prototype in our lab which we prepared for storage. This is a storage, है ना, नॉर्मल बैटरी जो आप लोग देखते हैं वही स्टोरेज है। फिर ये हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर है, इट इज अबाउट 2 kVA ट्रांसफार्मर। ये ट्रांसफार्मर है, रिमेंबर दिस इज अ ट्रांसफार्मर, ठीक है। दिस इज अ डुअल एक्टिव ब्रिज। सो हाउ द पावर विल बी प्रोसेस्ड फ्रॉम बैटरी टू द लोड एंड देन लोड टू द बैटरी और द सोर्स। तो ये यहाँ पे एक ऐसे ही प्रोजेक्ट कुछ काम है, उसका मैं डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशन आपको दिखा रहा था। This is another work which we have done, that there is a solar and then there is a battery storage and then there is a AC load, right? And then and there is a DC load also. AC load here, DC load here. So how everything can be integrated. So this is another work we have done in the lab. In the experimental level, we have a solar plant, we have this single phase inverter, we have a dual active bridge, and then a storage. So how we integrate everything, how the power can be transferred, stored in the batteries. Different modes of operation, just to illustrate कहाँ से कहाँ जा सकता है। सोलर से लोड में जा सकता है, सोलर से बैटरी में जा सकता है, बैटरी से लोड में जा सकता है, बट बैटरी से सोलर में नहीं जा सकता, ठीक है ना, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल। लोड से सोलर में नहीं जा सकता। So these are the various modes of operation. This is another mode, same experimental setup है इसका, कि बैटरीज है, देखिए बैटरीज है और लोड भी है, लोड दिख नहीं रहा है, ये डीएबी है, हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर है, ये देखिए पीला पीला है जो ट्रांसफार्मर है, इट्स अ हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रांसफार्मर, ठीक है। ये सोलर सेटअप है जो कि 2 किलोवाट का है, छत पे लगा हुआ, इसी को इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं हम लोग यहाँ पे, ठीक है। Another work, we have a solar plant inverter, but this is actually the implementation जहाँ पे हमने डीसी लोड भी लगा रखा है, एसी लोड के साथ साथ डीसी लोड भी है, and then we have a battery through a bidirectional converter, solar plant और सिंगल फेज एसी लोड, एसी ग्रिड, ठीक है। ये कुछ और हायर लेवल थी, ये अभी हम लोग प्रयास कर रहे हैं। दिस इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग फॉर ग्रिड स्केल स्टोरेज। ये हम लोग का डेवलप किया हुआ एक कन्वर्टर है, इसका कि हम लोगों ने पेटेंट भी फाइल किया हुआ है कुछ साल पहले। And we wanted to use this for grid scale storage. This is what we wanted for grid scale storage. And we have a converter with us. So we are now working, just मैंने आपको शुरू में बताया कि अभी एक पायलट प्रोजेक्ट करके हम लोग कुछ बैटरीज को पैरेलल में करके कैसे ग्रिड स्केल में स्टोरेज किया जा सकता है. That's what we are working. You can see this. This is what exactly the project we want to do with NTPC and with the government of India. We have a renewables, we have a AC conventional, and then we have a storage. This is a grid scale storage, and we are calling it is a reconfigurable grid scale storage and reconfigurable converter. So at any point of time, I can change the converter configuration to match the power requirement. And this is what the ultimate thing which we are planning to be used for smart distribution system like smart cities, smart colony, or any smart grid. And now you can see finally this is what the view of a smart city, right? Where a storage is there in the smart control center. This is where the storage is there, grid scale storage. And then we have various locations like mall, buildings, smart buildings, hospitals, critical loads, right? University, water supply, pumping station, right? Substation, municipal corp, everything is there. And then there is a centralized storage and a control center, which will be able to monitor all. Even EVs are there, smart transportation, solar PV generation, wind turbine generation. Okay, so this is the whole view of, you can say, smart cities, right? And based on the storage. So some of the references, and then thank you. So you can ask questions if you need.
Any question from the participant side?
चलिए भाई, सब समझ में आया आप लोग को? पार्टिसिपेंट्स कैन दे स्पीक आउट? वीरेंद्र कुमार मैं देख रहा हूं, SN सिंह साहब है कोई?
Yes, sir, we can speak, sir.
अच्छा अच्छा, आपकी आवाज आ सकती है. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि शायद आप केवल सुन सकते हैं.
नहीं बोल सकते. सेशन वाज एक्सीलेंट सर, नो क्वेश्चन. थैंक यू सर.
अच्छा अच्छा, नहीं कोई बात नहीं. सिंह साहब, SN सिंह साहब.
सर
हाँ बताए बताए.
विजय सर इन नॉट अवेलेबल. यस सर.
कोई बात नहीं. तो अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है, कोई छोटा क्वेश्चन, बड़ा क्वेश्चन इस टॉपिक से, नहीं तो दूसरी टॉपिक से, कोई भी टॉपिक से आपको पूछना हो तो पूछ सकते हैं.
Any question from the participant side? Sir, I think no question.
ओके, ठीक है.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for nice talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you.